My name is Edward Dunlop. I served in World War II as a surgeon in the Australian Army Medical Corps. I enlisted for the AAMC on the 13th of November 1939. I still remember that day. I remember arriving at the Army barracks in Brisbane, seeing the masses of men wanting to enlist for the war. I was nervous about what this opportunity had for me, but I was extremely proud of my country, so I had no doubt about what I was going to do was the right thing. As I was waiting in line, a man approached me. I had no idea who he was, but I thought it would be a good thing to have a chat. He asked me why I decided to enlist. I said that I thought I would be able to help a lot of people with my profession. He asked what I did. I said I was a surgeon, and asked what he did. He said, "Nothing anymore. I used to be a railway worker, but since my wife and 2 children died, I haven't had the motivation to do anything." I said, "Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. If there is anything you need, just let me know." He said he thought he had nothing to live for, so might as well join the army. The conversation ended there, and I felt really sorry for him. I was at the front of the line, and the shealer at the desk called next, like they do in the movies. So I walked to the desk and filled out the info. On my way out, I walked past the bloke I was chatting to earlier. He was looking straight down at his shoes. He made no eye contact. I couldn't imagine losing my family. I had respect for him, and I didn't even know the bloke. I wanted to turn around and keep talking, but he didn't look like he was in the mood. Skip a few months, and I was checking the mailbox. I brought the mail into the house and chucked it on the table. I was walking past to get a glass of water, and one specific letter caught my eye. I stopped immediately and turned around and went to pick it up. Straight away, I knew who it was from and what it was about. I opened it with caution and read the letter. It basically said that I was accepted into the army as a medical officer, and I had to arrange a meeting with someone who I can't remember anymore. To discuss my skills. I quickly picked up the phone that was on the kitchen counter and dialed the number on the letter. Skip ahead another couple of months, and I was beginning to become quite nervous about heading off to war. At this stage, it was only 2 weeks until I was deployed to Jerusalem in the Australian Overseas Base. I didn't know how to spend the rest of my time before I left. I could only focus on heading to war, and that was all I was thinking about. There was no hope of me trying to do anything else because I was a nervous wreck. If I tried to do anything else, I would mess it up. I had no family yet to support me, so I was all alone. On the 3rd of December in 1939, I left Australia on a separate ship to the others that were bound for fighting on the front line. I was on a reasonable sized boat with the other surgeons, medical officers and doctors that were going to join me in Jerusalem. The water seemed reasonably calm from inside the boat, and it would make for a good ride. When we arrived at the beach shore and at Jerusalem, we all jumped off the side of the boat into the shallow water below. We helped push the boat away from shore, and once it was deep enough, it chugged into the distance. We walked onto the hot, sandy beach and kept walking. We approached the army camps with the Australian troops training for battle, and the terrain was no different to the beach, hot and sandy. I'm going to skip the boring bits for you because you probably don't want to hear that. So a couple of weeks later, I was on the field treating patients. You would see some pretty awful things. People would have shrapnel all over their body. They would have one leg or one arm. They would have bullet wounds in their body, sometimes in places you didn't really want to go, but you knew you were doing it for your country, so you would do it anyway. One of the main horrifying encounters for me was when I was still on the field and had this one particular patient come stretched in like most other patients. But I could tell this one was different. Instead of 2 or 3 people carrying the stretcher, there were a number of others following it and trying to help, that would screw their face up and look away whenever they looked at their fellow soldier. It turns out the poor bastard had got shot in the face, in the eye, and there was a visible bullet hole through his nose. I had no idea how I was going to treat an injury this bad. He knew that there was nothing that the medical department could do. He went into, "Could you say to my wife I love her" mode. I didn't want to give up on this bloke, but there was nothing I could do physically. I had respect for him. He fought on the front line for his country, for his family, for his mates. All of a sudden it clicked. This was the bloke I talked to in Brisbane when I was enrolling. By the time I realised and tried to say something, he was gone. There was no getting this poor soul back. To this day, I still wish I had taken more time to talk to him in Brisbane.